Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and welcome to yet another Power Ranking show in this 2022 NFL season. We are heading into week 8 of this season. We're getting a little bit of a glimpse of what teams really are at this stage of the season. We're basically close to the midway point, and teams are giving a little bit of what they are now, showing their true colors. And it's time for me to give my grades on each team heading into week 8. But before I get into that, make sure you guys leave this video a like, as it always helps this channel to grow and it beats the algorithm. And make sure you guys click the sub button and the notification bell so you will not miss any of the content. But without further ado, let's dive into it. Of course, per usual, we have our S, A, B, C, and D tier. Let's just dive right into it. We got the Arizona Cardinals, who are coming off of a really good defensive performance against the New Orleans Saints. I'm still going to have them. I'm going to move them to a B. Even though offensively, they did start to find a little bit of rhythm now that DeAndre Hopkins is back. I still don't trust Kyler Murray to be consistent. I still don't. I honestly, be honest with you guys, I still don't. Next is the Atlanta Falcons. They are going to go to a C tier for me. Cincinnati just exposed a lot of the holes in their defense. AJ Terrell leaving the game with a hamstring injury didn't help either. But offensively, they started to click a little bit to get themselves back into the game. It's just that defense let it up against Cincinnati. Next is the Baltimore Ravens, which they almost blew a lead against the Cleveland Browns, but I'm going to have them, for the moment, I'm going to have the Baltimore Ravens at A. I know it's a struggle for me to put them at A. It's just that running game is just too good. Defensively, they can still shore up some things, but Baltimore and that division, I think, can be a very competitive football team and actually scare some people. Next, the Buffalo Bills. They had a bye week, but I still believe they are the best team in football, in my opinion. Despite the fact that they're not undefeated, I still believe that the Buffalo Bills are the best team in football. Next is the Carolina Panthers. Now, I'm going to have to move them up to a C just off the surprising, really fashionable win over a really good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I am going to have to move them to a C. As much as I still believe they're one of the worst teams in football, they pulled off a really quality win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next is my Chicago Bears. If last slide is any telling, they are starting to get some things together. Offensively, they're starting to use Justin Fields' athleticism as a weapon more. Defensively, young players are really starting to step up and play some really good football. Dominique Robinson played well. Roquan, of course. Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon. There's guys on defense. Justin Fields has been playing really well, getting better at each of the last 2 games. I'm not going to go talk deeply into the Bears. I'll leave it in my reaction and the cards up front. But this Bears team looked mildly impressive against the Patriots. Next, we're going to have the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're starting to get it together offensively. And Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and those weapons with Burrow, they're really starting to put some things together offensively. Defensively, they've still been creating some turnovers, but they can still use the shirt up on that side of the ball as well. Next, we're going to have the Cleveland Browns. We're going to have them at a B. Their running game has been carrying this football team the entire season. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to drop them to a C. I'm going to drop them to a C. Defensively, they could be better. They can really use them shirt up on that passing game, which has been so-so. And I know Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback for now, but it's just that passing game hasn't been really consistent. Next is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this team, I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys at an A. I know Cowboys fans are going to love that. Dallas Cowboys, offensively, the running game has been carrying them as well. Passing game, Dak struggled a little bit on his first game back. Defensively is where this team lays their hat. Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leighton Vander Esch, and Diggs, that's where they lay their hat at this point with this football team. Defensively, they have been otherworldly throughout the first few games of this year, and I think defensively has been the backbone of this Dallas Cowboys football team. Next is the Denver Broncos. I hate to do it, but boy, they look bad. This team should be a lot better than what they are. I know they have a 2-5 record. They just should be better than 2-5. Offensively, they can't put anything together. Whether it was Russell Wilson and Rippin last week, they can't sustain any rhythm. Javonte Williams being hurt doesn't help. Defensively, that has been carrying them in games. It's just offensively, they just cannot overcome anything. So I'm going to put them at a D. Next is the Detroit Lions. They are starting to come back to earth a little bit, so I'm going to put them at a D as well. They're starting to come back to earth. Offensively, they're coming back to earth. Defensively has been their struggle all season, but the offense is starting to come back to earth. Even though I like some of the things that they have in their young guys and some of their core, Jared Goff is coming back to earth. Let's just face it. Next is the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to drop them to a B. This team has Super Bowl contention aspirations, but nothing is clicking on offense right now. Whether it's Rodgers, whether it's the receivers, the offensive line has not been great. Defensively, they've held them in some games. They haven't been otherworldly either. This team is not playing at a very good level right now. Defensively, they have the talent. Offensively, at the receiver position, not so much. Aaron Rodgers can only do so much, but this team is just not performing up to any level. And schematically, I don't see much change with Devontae Adams not on the roster anymore versus when he was on the roster. It's just not much change schematically despite the personnel change. Next is the Houston Texans, worst team in football. I love Lovie Smith. I honestly do, but this team is just not very good. The talent-wise, not very good for the Houston Texans football team. Next is the Indianapolis Colts. I'm putting them at the C grade. Mike Ryan doesn't look like himself, which is really why he got benched. Defensively, they have not been performing up to their level. Offensively, they just can't establish anything. With Jonathan Taylor even still being back, they just haven't been able to click much. So I'm going to put them at a C, and that offensive line has not been good. Next is the Jacksonville Jaguars. This team is tough to grade because their record is 2-5, but they've been showing that they could be better than 2-5 with the improvements that they made, with the growth that they have. I'm going to put them at a C, but this team is growing. You can see the pieces start to connect there. They just have to learn how to win some of these close games, and this will be a better football team. They are still very young. Doug Peterson has them on the right track. They just have to start to learn how to win these football games closely, and this team will be much improved once they learn how to win. Next is the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to put them at an S. I mean, they dominated a San Francisco defense that was top 5 in the league. They dominated that San Francisco defense. And to say their defense, I thought, was going to be a little bit of their downfall. They haven't, I'm not going to say be consistent. I just believe at times they can be had. They've been performing well. The defense of the Chiefs has been performing well. Offensively, they have been just clicking on all cylinders. And against the 49ers, impressive. Next is the Los Angeles Chargers, and dropping them to a B. I had higher expectations of them coming into the year. It's just some of the injuries and some of the inconsistent play on both sides of the football has this team not sitting at a very good spot. They're 4-3, which I think they should be better than that. It's just the injuries and the inconsistencies has really killed this football team and the growth that we expected coming into this year. So I'm going to put them at a B. Next is the LA Rams. They had a bye, but I'm still going to put them at a B. They don't look as strong as we expected coming into the year. And defensively, outside of Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, it's been so-so. Offensively, Matthew Stafford is turning over the football. They need to find other weapons other than Cooper Kupp to be consistent in his offense. And the running game has really been almost a no-show at points. So I'm going to put the Rams at a B. Next is the Las Vegas Raiders, coming off a much-needed win. I'm still going to put them in a C. I mean, they were playing the Houston Texans. They did beat the Houston Texans, so I can only put so much stock on that. The Raiders should be, like the Denver Broncos, should be better than what they are. They should be better than what they are. It's just they have been inconsistent on both sides of the football. Josh Jacobs has really started to elevate more. It's just Derek Carr has had some inconsistencies defensively. That secondary has really been inconsistent. So I'm going to put the Raiders at a C. Next is the Miami Dolphins, coming off of a big win, a much-needed win to keep themselves in a hunt in the AFC East. I am going to put the Miami Dolphins at a B. Tua being back, you can see, kind of helps this offense defensively. They play a very solid football game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to put this Miami Dolphins team at a B for the moment. Next is the Minnesota Vikings. It sounded crazy last week when I do it, and I'm not going to drop them because they was on a bye. So I'm going to leave Minnesota at an S tier. I believe that this Minnesota Vikings team is a very talented football team. Kirk Cousins has been playing above expectations. Defensively, they've definitely been playing above expectations so far this season. So I'm going to put them at the S tier. Next is the New England Patriots. What did it look like last night against the Bears offense that has been struggling? And Justin Fields had a really good day, and the running game for the Bears really took over this New England Patriots defense. And the passing game for the Bears wasn't bad either against the New England Patriots defense that has been very good the last couple of weeks. I just don't believe that this Patriots defense it didn't look as good as we expected it to. And offensively, whether it was Jones or whether it was Bailey Zappi, they did not play very well. And outside of those 2 big throws, that offense really didn't do much against the Bears. So I'm going to put it at a C. Next is the New Orleans Saints. I'm putting them at a C. The quarterback play is just like, where is it? Dalton struggled. Winston struggled. It's just offensively, once they get some consistent quarterback play, I think they will be a better team. They also had some injuries as long as Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, Olave, all Ohio State guys. Offensively, they've had some injuries. Defensively, they've had some injuries. Offensively, they can't keep anything consistent in quarterback. So I'm going to put them at a C. Next is the New York Giants. This team just find a way to win games. They just find ways to win football games, and I give credit to Brian Dable, who's put together a solid game plan to help Daniel Jones really get the most out of him and most of what they can. And Saquon Barkley has been otherworldly, and this defense has been very opportunistic, and they have been winning some football games defensively. So this Giants team, I believe, is the biggest surprise so far this season. I'm going to put them at the A tier. Next is the New York Jets. This team, like the Giants, New York football, surprise. This might be crazy for me to do. I'm going to put the Jets in an A. I'm going to put the Jets in an A. Zach Wilson has not been great, but he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been losing them games. Defensively is where they had Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, CJ Mosley has been playing a lot better. It's just this team has been playing some really good football. Now they do lose Breece Hall, who has been a big part of what they've been doing offensively, and we're waiting to see how this team is going to look now that he's out for the season. This team has been very surprising, and they've been playing some really solid football. I did have them as one of my more improved teams heading into this year. I just didn't think they would look this good. Next is the Philadelphia Eagles. They are also coming off of a bye, but they are undefeated, and they get the S tier for me. Jalen Hurts has been looking good. The addition of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, defensively with Graham and Cox, and Darius Slay and Bradbury, which has been a good addition to that defense. I think, along with the Buffalo Bills, those two are fighting for the best team in football. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whew. I hate to even do this, but I'm going to put them at a C. I was thinking about putting them at a D. Defensively, they've been playing well. It's just offensively, they can't establish any type of rhythm. They cannot. They've been turning the football over. They haven't been playing some really good teams, too. They just cannot establish any rhythm offensively. And defensively, without TJ Watt, they have been struggling to get after the quarterback on a consistent basis. So I'm going to put them in a C. Next is the Seattle Seahawks, coming off of a big win against the Chargers. I'm going to put Seattle at a B. They, with Geno Smith, have looked either good or bad. Defensively, I still don't believe in this defense. But offensively has been what's been carrying the Seattle Seahawks team to victories. And the running game with Kenneth Walker now has been really, really explosive. So I'm going to put the Seattle Seahawks at a B. Next is the San Francisco 49ers, coming off of that big-time loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to put them in a B. I think once Christian McCaffrey gets adjusted to this offense, they will be just as fine. Defensively, they didn't look good at all. I didn't expect that defensively. I just did. So I'm going to put them at a B. Next is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one is tough, but I'm going to put them at a B. I was thinking C, but I'm going to leave them at a B for the moment. If this offense continues to struggle like it did against Carolina, I'm going to drop it. Defensively, they didn't look good against Carolina either. And this team is way more talented than the level that they're playing at on both sides of the football. Something isn't right with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. It's just something is really, really missing. I don't know what it is. I can't tell what it is, but something with this football team is missing. Next is the Tennessee Titans, coming off of a win against the Colts. I'm going to put them at a B. I was wrong for saying 2021 number 1 seed was a fluke. They looked better over the past couple of weeks. Derrick Henry is starting to establish some rhythm. Tannehill is starting to play a little bit better defensively. That's where they're starting to improve at. So I'm going to put this Tennessee Titans at a B tier. I was wrong for saying that they was a fluke. Next is the Washington Commanders. I'm going to put, this is tough. I'm going to put, you know what? I'm going to drop it. I'm going to put him in a B. Taylor Heineke, I think he's a better quarterback at this point than Carson Wentz. This offense looks a lot better with Taylor Heineke at quarterback than it does Carson Wentz. Defensively, they stepped up more against the Green Bay Packers offense. So at this point, I think Taylor Heinicke should be the guy for the Washington Commanders going forward. That's just my opinion. But hey, these are my rankings for week 8. Make sure you guys leave this video a like, as it always helps this channel to grow and beats the algorithm. And comment your guys' thoughts down below. I know you guys are gonna disagree with me like you always do, but I love the fact that it is healthy debate. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, click the sub button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the content that I post. But I'm APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.